Hello guys, this is Impulse, and in today's video we're gonna try to figure it out how to do render layers and AOV and Cryptomatte into Solaris. So also yeah, I heard in previous video I wasn't speaking very loudly, so I'm gonna try to do my best to speak a little bit louder so you guys can understand me easily. So in this video I'm gonna, do the same as I did before. I'm gonna take 3 sphere, 1 ground, basic lighting, different shader, importing this into Solaris, and then mess around with and showing you how to do just simple render layers for now. Don't hesitate to subscribe, drop a like. If you have any recommendation, please let me know. I will also do a review of work, so if you guys want to send me your showreel or any work you want me to take a look at, to have some creative feedback or even technical, we can do a live session on Twitch, so obviously let me know in the comment if you're down for that. There is also potentially a Discord coming very soon, so we can maybe start building a community, because I believe that sharing knowledge is very important and also trying to support each other. So without further ado guys, let's dive in. So here we are guys, like the video before, 3 sphere, they're right there, all on top of each other. I haven't moved anything. And we have also our material here, same as before, gold, blood, and clay right here. They're all already assigned, so quick brief here. Here's my sphere, my material assigned, and then I put a null without here just to be more clean. So again, like, my blue is where my eyes is, so I can see exactly this is what I'm seeing in the viewport, and then the purple in the middle, or pink, like whatever suits you, pink, it would be like the renderable part of it. Now let's go into the stage here, and before we did a scene import, but now we are gonna do a SOP import. So what is the difference between the scene import and the SOP import? Well, let's just read the source, to be honest. Here we are. I strongly suggest you guys to take a look all the time at the side effects Houdini documentation. It's pretty useful. This is where also I get my information in. So literally you have the overview here, but what you need to truly remember is this node works by converting subgeometry into a hierarchy of USD geometry prims, and then importing that USD data into the scene graph tree by sublayering or referencing. Knowing this will help you interpret some of the parameters, such as which prim to reference in. They are speaking in terms of how to deal with the already converted USD geometry prims. It's mostly like converting stuff into USD. So I'm gonna create a SOP import right here. It shows obviously nothing. I'm in stage. We have our SOP path here. Then we have our object, ground, sphere, sphere 1, 2, and 3. As you can see, I'm gonna do a little plus here, and I'm gonna grab the out. I want my SOP to read everything in this node to go through. So I'm gonna take it here. Here's my sphere. I'm gonna literally take this name here, copy, and paste it. As I said, I wanna be lazy, right? So 2, 3, because I want to import my spheres. 2, and 3. Just a quick, sanity check, because you never know with those software. There you go. Okay, it grabs this one. Beautiful. I'm gonna do another duplicate here. Again, to do this, it's Alt, and you just, drag and drop. Oh, come back here. Okay, so this one I'm gonna call it ground, because it's my ground, and I believe I did the same for this guy. Yes, I did. There you go, and here's my ground. As you can see, I'm visualizing this, and I can't visualize the 3 of them at the same time. So for this, I'm gonna use like a merge. You kind of have, to get like some nuke mindset a little bit. Like, see, when I merge, there we go. This could be, kind of like assembly. And then now I got everything, and I want to move my sphere now, because they're obviously like stacking on top of each other. So I'm gonna select my sphere here, I'm gonna press T, and there you go. See, now I have an edit here. No, that just appeared. That's fine for now. I'm just gonna move it here. I'm gonna also go in Y. I'm gonna double click and put Z. No, come on, don't be. There you go. So that's one here. I'm gonna actually control X this guy and paste it here. Don't do that. There you go. So this one just moved. I'm gonna call this, no, I'm not gonna call it. Copying this because I'm a little bit psycho with the way it's being plugged. I don't want this to start being like a spider thingy. So I'm gonna again duplicate this, cut it, drag and drop, get stuck. Now I want to move this guy. Oh, sorry, I need to select it. I know. So I'm gonna select this guy here, and then now I'm gonna move it again. So this will be 0.5, not 5, you demon, just 0.5. There you go. I'm gonna come here just in case, and then I'm selecting my node and I'm gonna translate it. Let's say, yeah, sure, that's fine. I'm gonna do the same with here for this guy. Let's cut this in. But then this time I am gonna put my sphere of 3 in it. There you go. Same, 0.5. So you're gonna be like, come on, I don't have to do this all the time, right? It's because I'm dealing with geometry that are not animated at all. If you were having a lambic, you wouldn't have to do this. Just a heads up. So here we're here. I'm kind of doing my layout in Houdini, to be honest, into the stage level and not in SOP. Yeah, are we good here? Yeah, kind of good, I guess, right? Like, no, stop it. There you go, this is my sphere. Let's put them side by side to each other.
A few moments later.
There you go, that's beautiful. Awesome. My ground, I'm not gonna touch it. I'm happy with it here. I'm gonna pull this down here a little bit. And now what I'm gonna do is my material, all of them are here. I'm gonna copy all of this right now. I'm gonna go to stage and again, material, no, not linker, material library. I'm putting this right there. So I'm gonna call this sphere SHD 01. I'm gonna come in there, paste it, duplicate this. Remember, just be lazy. Third one, and then fourth one. You come here. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna come here. I only need my first shader, so I'm gonna delete those guys. Please make sure that this is enabled here in orange, otherwise you won't see it. But normally you guys should know. I'm gonna clear this just for sanity, and then autofill, grabbing this, and mesh. So, okay, here I have a simple geometry, right? It's only a sphere. I could just remove this and just tell him all geometry primitive or all mesh primitive, depends on what you guys are doing. So all geometry, normally my shader should be attached. And I'm gonna do the same for here. So I'm gonna go in, delete those, autofill, and I'm gonna be all geometry primitive. We'll actually copy this, clear, go in, autofill, enter, same with here, clear, autofill, ground, shader. Till here, nothing new, we've seen that in the video before. Now I'm gonna build my lights for a quick sec. I'm gonna grab a dome light right here, and I'm gonna call SGRI. Gonna come here, do a quick check on my shader, making sure we're fine. I found it, there we go. So it seems like we're on point, right? My shader, this is not double-sided as you can see. Everything seems to work. So now I'm gonna stop this. Again, it's really easy to crash, guys. I'm gonna pick an SGRI. So same deal here, this is my light, format lat long. Is my SGRI, is it normalized? Oh, okay, there you go, was loading. Instead of scared, like, come on, you're not gonna crash, like, just by doing this, right? Null, samples, I'm gonna leave it this way. I'm gonna take a look again. It's just like an overcast SGRI, nothing crazy. Okay, so it's a sky. I'm gonna change my mode. Background, display, dark, or like, let's keep it gray. Cool, and then I'm gonna go into my light here. I'm gonna go down, camera, set or create. I want this to be 0. I truly want this to be gray. Awesome. Now I'm gonna create another light here, which would be my key light this time. Key. I'm gonna, at this point, just separate these. I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna merge those both. Beautiful. My key here will be a, let's make it a disk. To be honest, I'm gonna put 5. I'm gonna warm it up ever so slightly. There you go. Normalize power. I'm gonna merge this again with this here and this being here. So now I'm gonna be able to see everything. I'm gonna pause this render, Houdini GL, and then where's my key? It's in here. You can even visually see what's happening in here. So what am I gonna do? Something. I'm gonna scale it ever so slightly, and then quick rotation. I know you're probably like, oh, why are you not showing us a fancy lighting or whatever? My guys, I'm not paid enough for doing this. I'm kidding. I just want to show the principle. Nothing too complicated. So if I come here now and I'm gonna do annual render again, well, doesn't look like I'm seeing much, to be honest. Might crank up the exposure quickly, just making sure. Come back here. Okay, now you see it. Maybe I went a bit too extreme here. I might change actually the material of my ground. There you go. So it's better, more straightforward. We have shadows, we have everything here. Cool. So, because I want to be a little bit fancy, I'm going to create a subnetwork here, which is going to be for me like kind of my gaffer. I'm going to make a little logo. I'm going to call this lighting. Control X, go inside. I'm putting the output here, not this one, you dummy. There you go. And now, boom, et voila. Why I'm doing this? Just to be more clean and visually interesting and easy to understand for people. I'm trying to work in a sense like, you know, anyone can pick up my file if I work in production, or even if I work with people on a, you know, personal project. I want them to be able to read the file pretty easy. Like they're like, all right, what this is sphere, edit, so there's some transform value, the shaders are here, now I have my lighting. The best thing for this could be also like, you know, I'm gonna put this up here, I'm gonna create a backdrop, I'm selecting those guys, I'm gonna put it ever so slightly here, blue, creating a little sticker, then I'm gonna move here, calling this, let's say layout. I'm gonna remove background. Now you can see clearly, this is your layout. Then we're gonna do the same here. So at least no one is lost, right? Like you know exactly where you're at. So there you go, material. This could be lighting, I guess, huh? Nothing crazy. Now, render settings. I wanna set up my render settings pretty quickly. Oh, no, wait a second, camera. Almost forgot about this. So let's create a camera. On here. You could, in theory, just put your things like this. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do. My camera is gonna be here. I'm gonna call this shot cam. So I'm gonna see through. I'm locking this. Ta-da! Cool. Okay, well, I got my camera angle here. I'm gonna stop this. Now, render settings. So, what are we gonna do here? Render settings, I'm gonna make one here that I'm gonna call preview, let's say low sample. I want to mimic what I'm seeing in the viewport. My camera is here, shot cam, drag and drop into our camera here. I'm gonna unlock this, delete channel, and I'm gonna make something like 920 by 1080p, progressive render. Yes, sir. -3. Then the rest I'm not gonna touch. I'm gonna ignore depth of field, I don't care. Boom. So if I come here now, and I do a render, very low sample, very quick, almost instant. Now, I'm gonna take this, duplicate it, and I'm gonna make something higher, which I'm gonna call just low sample. So no more progressive render. I'm gonna make this like to 3. So now you can see the render is going still fast, but decent. It's pretty clean. Nothing crazy here. And I'm gonna go with like, let's say high sample this time. Normally you guys saw that before. I'm gonna redo a switch. perfect. So now I'm seeing it. I'm back in low sample. And I think I'm going to stay in this mode mostly. But this is like literally a clean template that we saw a little bit before anyway in the first video. So now render layers. Well, let's say I'm going to create a null. Let's say I want to render the ground only. So I'm going to call this ground environment render layer. So I'm going to use this node called the render geometry settings. I'm going to come here and I'm going to call this phantom. And I'm going to make another one called cutmatte. I'm trying to reproduce what we have in the ROP. So for this, I'm going to come to phantom here. So you see the primitives here. I'm going to select my 3 sphere right here, drag and drop and put them in there. Why? Because I want them to be phantom. So I'm going to come in here, set or create, and I'm going to disable this guy. And there we go. If I want to do a cutmatte, I'm going to do the exact same here and go down. But this time I'm going to create the matte here, set or create matte. So obviously I'm in the preview, but you can see now there is a cutmatte. So let's say I don't want a cutmatte, I just want a phantom. There you go. So that could be one layer. So I'm going to move this on the side and now let's redo it again. So I'm going to grab this, duplicate this. Now what do I want? I want to render my sphere. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to rename it sphere, CHR for character, render layer. Now reverse, I want my sphere to be renderable, but maybe using the cutmatte for my ground. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to disable this guy, and instead of using those 3 sphere here, I'm going to put the ground. And I'm going to come here and refresh. There we go. So what's happening? My phantom node here is disabled. My cutmatte here, it's on. So now, if I switch, I do a restart render. Now I have this, my ground. If I come here and I render my sphere. If you want to save your render, then you come here, you take this little icon, you click on it, and you create a snap. I'm going to come here now. I'm going to create another snap. And then now I can see in the render gallery, literally both images. Obviously this is poor quality, right? But they're here. Now if I want to see in a higher res, I'm going to disable that. I'm just going to switch here to 1. And then now this is going to cook with higher samples. This is one way to go, but also like, for example, if you're like, okay, I don't want the red, you can always prune. You can come here. For those that work in company and, you know, like Katana, for example, you guys must be familiar with it. So let's say the prune is here. I want to grab my sphere number 2 and prune it. So I'm going to come here and it's gone. It literally makes it invisible. If you want this also work with lights, so I can remove this and let's say for this layer, for some reason, I want to remove a light. So you can do either all lights primitive, so this is going to turn off, obviously, or if I want just to remove my HDRI, so it's going to do it, but it's going to keep the key only, and vice versa. I can always come here and, you know, drop my key. So now if I refresh, oh, it's because I'm seeing here. Sorry, if I refresh now, there you go. Now we only show my HDRI. So here we are. We got our 2 layers here. If you want to write out those frames, you can just like, you know, USD render up. You toss one here, same here, and you can render your images to disk. But now you're like, okay, wait a second. Now I want some, you know, AOVs. I can start a shot like this, right? So the AOVs with Arnold, it's a pain. It's a pain in the ass. Let's be honest here for a sec. It's a pain in the ass in the sense of an AOV here needs to be created by using a render var. So, which is called a render variable. So for this, you come here, you have Arnold and Karma. So if you want your SSS, diffuse, or whatever, you're gonna have to name this the same. So if I put diffuse here and I decide to be on color for float, I'm gonna also change it here for both. So that would be called diffuse. Yeah, so that's one AOV here. I'm gonna need a render product to put this here. I don't know why it puts a 1 all the time. Render product, and I want this guy. This is my ordered render. So now, to make this working, I'm gonna have to bring this down, let's say here, and I'm gonna start putting this here, plug it in here, plug it in here. So now I'm gonna go in my settings here. I know it's all of here. Ordered product, this guy. And now if I'm gonna do a switch, I switch back to low sample. There you go, now it shows my diffuse. My AOVs are here, right? But it only showed the diffuse. So now I need to create another render var, which is, I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna call RGBA. I'm gonna do the same here. Come on, reconnect here. Nope, nope, just this. Come back here. And actually, so this is a big name here, but this needs to be in lowercase. Let's refresh it. Oh, why it's not working? Well, this here needs to have a star. And now in Fury, now you see your RGBA. So I'm actually out of my camera, so I'm gonna go back here in the shot cam. This is just like one of them, right? Diffuse. I can keep on going with, let's say, specular. So I'm gonna, copy this, come here, do another one again. So in theory, I should see spec. I'm gonna do the same here with SSS, like this, SSS. Let's redo it again, which is only this one, but because that was my blood shader. You can imagine how that list can go like so long. Like, I can do the same with now, then I have this. I can come down. Nope, come back here and be like, albedo. So I'm gonna take the same name here. So now in Fury, specular albedo is here. Spec, specular albedo, SSS, diffuse, RGBA. So now all of that here, well, they need to be connected to all of these. So now your AOVs are here with your order product. I'm gonna put this down here, this guy here. Sorry guys, I'm gonna come back in there, Control C. I'm gonna select both of them and make sure that this is on. So now if I switch in this higher quality, well, now I see my diffuse, my spec, specular albedo, SSS, and voila. I highly recommend to turn this into an HDA. Now, the little trickery also, what if you want perlite? Well, let's do it perlite. So for this, I'm gonna come back here to my subnetwork, which has my light that I created a little while ago. So I'm gonna go to my HDRI and come down here. I explained that before. You have your AOV light group. I'm gonna do light 1, and I'm gonna create, come back down here, light number 2. They're tagged. I went up. So now, well, I'm gonna have to duplicate this, put it in here, call this RGBA underscore light 1. I'm gonna call it the same here. And now you're gonna see, I'm gonna put this back in the line. Might need to make some room for the others. Come on, squish it. And I have here. No, well, it didn't like it. And it doesn't take it. Why? This is probably because of the naming. So gonna copy this, go in, do here, and paste it. Now it's working. So now this is only my dome. So I'm gonna do the same with light 2. So to duplicate it here, I just need to do this, bring back in here, and voila. So if I come back there, I'm gonna see my light 2, which is only my key. Does that make sense? I know it's annoying as hell. You should have an update normally that should fix this. I'm hoping, please guys, Autodesk, please fix this. That's slavery for doing this. Look at that. And I only did like 2 lights. So if you're at home without any scripting knowledge, well, good luck. If you have scripting knowledge, then you're the king. So there you go, make some space here, spec, specular albedo, SSS. This is obviously the same here, right? Like you can do, you know, diffuse per light, specular. So if I come here and I create specular light 1, and I do this here, then in Fury again, if I restart render. Oh, no, you didn't do it. Oh, it's because I'm not connected. Okay, there you go. Now I should see it. Specular light 1. It's my dome, right? And if I do this time specular light 2, copying this back in there, I'm replugging this into the whole line here. Then I should see my spec light 2, which is my key. And so on and so on and so on. You probably need to go to the documentation, to Houdini, and you know, check all the naming of the AOV so you can replicate this and make yourself a little HTOA that you just press a little button and then off you go. It generates it per light. So obviously that's why I just, you know, put 2 lights in there just to show, because I'm not going to start making like, you know, a massive light rig with 15 lights and do this manually. But yeah, this is pretty much how it works right now. So yeah, that's probably a very rough method to create AOV with Arnold. You can create AOVs now with the new version they released, which is like the Arnold render settings. To be honest, I'm not liking it. I think it's pretty buggy in a sense of I need to dive in more into this, which I will, and give you an update. But for now, this is what I'm doing. I'm making my own HTOA. I populate the AOV that I desire, that I want. Also depend on your workflow. You can set up your own and just, you know, boop, build it. It's the same with, you know, utilities. Like if you want your ZDev, your, you know, PPass, normal, whatever, it's the same way in principle. So you can make, you know, a beauty and utility on the side, or both combined. It's up to you, you do you. Now, you're going to talk to me about the Cryptomatte. Well, the Cryptomatte, it's a little bit of his own thing. So to make crypto, it's kind of, you know, heaven for lighters and compers. It's a shader that's going to populate mask all around your object. So it's either going to work per object or per material, which is nice. And the good news is you can even see if your Cryptomatte works in the viewport. So for this, I'm gonna go out of the way by going from the top here. Unfortunately, you do not need all of that right now. So I'm gonna delete those AOV here, at least a couple to make some room. I'm gonna keep my RGBA. I'm gonna delete per light here, so I have my diffuse, spec, you're gone, and SSS. There you go, a little bit more organized. I'm gonna literally use a prune. Why? Because when I render Cryptomatte, you know that your lights are not needed for this. It's like every utility passes, like, you know, your ZDev, your P-World, all of that. Like, you don't need any lights to it. And I'm trying to gain some render time. Obviously, it's just free sphere, light or not, that's not gonna hurt me. But if you have a heavy scene, you wanna get rid of it. So I'm calling this, like, you know, my little light killer here. I'm gonna put this in red to be, you know, threatening. There you go. I'm gonna even change. What do we have here? Come here, you. Ta-da! Very dramatic. So I'm gonna tell him every light now you kill them. Literally. So if I go here, nothing, no lights. I'm gonna create now a material library that I'm gonna call Cryptomatte material. I'm gonna go inside I'm gonna create an Arnold material builder. There we go. That I'm gonna call, no, you enabled. Thank you so much. Arnold Solaris Cryptomatte. Gonna go in, another one again, and I'm gonna put this time Cryptomatte. Then I'm gonna put into none of these. Totally forgot. I can't have this here. I need to put the out AOV, which is, yeah, out AOV. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna make this into our very first shader, which is here. There we go. So now I have my shader here, right? Which I am now gonna create an Arnold Cryptomatte AOV. So I'm here, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go inside, copy this, Control C, stage, go here, paste it. Beautiful. I need this time, I'm gonna reuse this bad boy here. Thank you, sir. Because I still need an RGBA to render the Cryptomatte. RGBA, like this. And then again, I'm gonna need a render product. Render product Cryptomatte. So I'm gonna come here. See, now all of this is being created. So I'm gonna create vars here, and I'm gonna tell him after here to create like everything. Like, I'm gonna use the star to, take the whole shebang. And then for this, I'm gonna create an output node here. So we're all happy. It's all in here. Beautiful. I'm gonna take the high sample. No, actually the low sample here. That will do the trick. Paste it here. Low sample. Cryptomatte. And then I'm gonna come here into my other product and I'm gonna change it. This is gonna become the one. Obviously, I'm gonna delete all of it. I don't need the old one. So it's here, Cryptomatte. And now let's do a render and see if it worked. So it's black here, but something is broken, something is wrong. Why? Because you need to come into your render settings. I'm gonna recopy the shader again, which is right here. Go back to stage, going back to the render settings, Arnold. I'm gonna go down into my shader, which is upper, where is it? AOV shader, there you go. Set or create, paste it. And let's see what comes out. There you go. Now you have your Cryptomatte. There you go. I mean, it's 3 different material, no matter what, crypto object. Anyway, so same here. You can use this, USD render up, paste it here, and voila. Then you get your Cryptomatte render layer. So that can come here. That can be your output. I'm gonna do the same here. Output, and this will be Cryptomatte output. There you go. So, et voila. This is a basic tree for, starting doing some rendering and compositing and starting to use the full potential of Solaris and the full capacity of it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Obviously, this is with a very simple file. There is only 3 spheres and 1 ground, but imagine again that this tree can go very big. So make sure you guys are clean. Make sure it's very easy to understand because it's pretty easy to get lost in the sauce in there. Anyway, I hope you guys liked it. Drop a like, drop a comment. And if you have any other topic that you want me to cover, by all means, write it down and have a lovely night, day, weekend, whenever you guys are watching this. Bye.